Hello and welcome to marketing91.com. In this video, we are going to cover the topic on concept testing versus copy testing. Let's start with concept testing. Before introducing a product, companies study customer acceptance of the product. This is called concept testing. It is not the same as packaging testing, brand testing, or advertising testing. The focus of this method is the product idea. It is the stage at which concept is created during the construction process of the new product. The creation of concept can be done in many forms during concept testing. Due to the technological advances, there are times when the creation of concepts are an incident. In other situations, creation of concept is done deliberately with the help of qualitative research, problem detection surveys, and brainstorming sessions. Concept screening surveys may be required in the presence of various alternative concepts in the beginning stages of concept testing. Concept screening surveys help narrow down the number of options available. But they do not give any detailed insight into the options, nor do they compare to regulatory databases due to the association between concepts. Moving on to copy testing. The influence of advertisement on customer response, behavior, and feedback is determined on the basis of this field of marketing research. It addresses media channels like print, television, internet, social media, outdoor, and radio, and is called pre-testing. PACT, full form for Positioning, Advertising, Copy Testing, was released by a group of 21 ad agencies in 1982, like Tarsis, N.W. Iyer, Gray McKinnon, Ogilvy and Mather, Needham Harper and Streets, Young and Rubicam, and J. Walter Thompson, that described features of a good copy testing system. According to PAT, a good copy system must, first, provide necessary measurements that relate to the objectives of the ad. Second, seek agreement regarding the ways in which results can be used before individual test. Third, generally, single measurements are not enough to survey an advertisement's performance. Hence, multiple measurements must be provided. Next, help decide whether multiple exposures toward the advertising stimulus is required. Then, acknowledges that alternative execution of finished pieces of copies must be similarly finished, and these finished pieces can be analyzed better. Next, prevent exposure context leading to bias by providing controls. And finally, the basic points of sample definition are considered. Moving on. 3 factors that have to be addressed in copy testing. First, whether or not to test. Majority of local advertising is untested and a lot of national advertising copies are used without copy testing formally. Testing requires time and money cost. This in turn can delay the launch of a campaign. In the presence of substantial advertising, copy testing proves to be more useful. Second, what and when to test. Copy testing can be done either at the production stage end, during the layout stage, after launching the campaign, or the creative process beginning. The stages at the beginning are called pre-test, whereas the stages at the end are called post-test. Qualitative research like group interviews, in order to obtain reactions to copy ideas, are required during testing at a creative process beginning. Quantitative research that measures the influence of advertising is required during post-testing. Both pre-testing and post-testing can be done in cases where a huge amount is invested in advertising campaigns. Please note, pre-testing and post-testing is covered in one of our videos on advertising effectiveness. Third, what criteria or test to use? The nature of the variable of response used during copy testing can help distinguish it. The focus of a copy test, irrespective of the other important factors to consider, is the criterion or the dependent variable. The factors of copy test strategy demonstrate what certain test measures. Moving on to one of the examples of copy testing, and the method used is neuromarketing. Neuromarketing is a new field of marketing which uses medical technologies such as functional magnetic resonance imaging to study the brain's response to marketing stimuli. The brands in question, the first one is PepsiCo's Lay's. When releasing the baked Lay's product, women were the main focus of the campaign. The idea for single-serve packaging and the corresponding ad campaign was created with the help of biometric responses of these women. Next, Cheetos. Frito-Lay, a subsidiary of PepsiCo, has a brand of cheese-tasting puffs named Cheetos. They hired a neuromarketing firm to understand how people's brain reacted when they ate Cheetos. After using the EEG technology on a group of enthusiastic consenting subjects, it was found that people gained some sort of guilty pleasure from the feeling of getting their fingers smeared with orange dust. The brain scanning technology helped the firm to ascertain that customers responded passionately to the detail that eating Cheetos gives them orange fingers due to the residual cheese dust. And that's how PepsiCo was confirmed that the ad from Cheetos was a big hit. So that's it, folks. This brings an end to the topic on concept testing versus copy testing. These are some of the sources and links referred to for the content in the video. If you've liked the video, do subscribe to our channel. If you want to view these videos in an organized manner, you can visit freecourses.net, where all our videos are arranged in the form of courses. Thank you and see you in the next video.